Welcome to Volumes of Pyramids and Cones. So nice to talk to you again. So we have skipped surface area. We'll worry about that later if we go back to school. We're going to talk about volume. So if you notice, we have this big B again. And you need to understand, again, it's the area of the base, which you're going to have two different types of base shapes on your pyramids. You're either going to have a square / rectangle, which you would do your length times width, or you will have a triangular base, which is 1/2 base times height. So you'll see both of those today. Okay. So when we work these out, we know volume of a pyramid is 1/3 big B H. So first thing we want to do is we want to figure out the big B. So on here, this is your base. So base actually is bottom now, so we don't have any confusion. So in this case, even though it just has the 3 here and it doesn't have a measure here, we will go ahead and assume that it is a square. So the area of the square would be 3 times 3, which would be 9. Now, in the volume of the 1/3 base times height, so we have 1/3, we have our big B, which is 9. Our height, yes, which is how tall it is 7. But I want to talk to you the best way about putting this in your calculator. If you do not have the fraction button in your calculator, do not put in the decimal 0.3 or 0.33. What I want you to practice doing is we are going to go ahead and multiply the 9 and the 7. Because when you multiply by 1/3, that's same as dividing by 3. So we're going to take the 9 times 7, which gives us 63, and then we're just going to take that and divide it by 3, and that's going to give us our most exact answer. So when we divide that by 3, we get a 21, and when we do units with volume, it's inches cubed. So again, when you work these out, multiply the whole numbers you have, and then I want you to divide by that 3, because multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3. It's going to give you a more exact answer. So now we're going to go ahead and try a triangular prism. Again, same formula, volume equals 1/3 big B H. So in this case, our base here is a right triangle, and that's what a lot of your bases are going to look like, is a right triangle. So when we find the area of a right triangle, it's 1/2 times the base, which, because we see the right angle of the triangle right down here, your 7 would be your base, your 18 would be your height. So it's going to be 1/2 times 7 times 18, which is going to give us 63. And then again, when we do the volume of this pyramid, it's going to be 1/3 our big B, which was 63, and then times the height of the pyramid, which would be 11. So again, I want you to go ahead and take the 63 times 11 first. So 63 times 11 gives us 693. And then I want you to take that and divide by 3, because again, we're going to get an exact answer. And when we do that, we get a 231. And in this case, with a unit, that would be centimeters cubed. So next shape we're going to talk about is a cone. So a cone, they give us the formula 1/3 big BH because it is technically the same formula as a pyramid because it goes to a point. But in this case, with a cone, your base is always going to be a circle. So we just go ahead and enter in the pi r squared for the area formula for a circle. So I would prefer you to write down the 1/3 pi r squared h for volume of a cone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find the volume of this cone. So again, we're going to do volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. Please make sure with a circle that you are looking at the radius, which is halfway across. So it'll be 1/3 times pi times our radius, which in this case is going to be the 5, because that is only halfway across. So 5 squared times your height of the cone, which would be 12. So again, I want you to go ahead and only multiply the pi r squared and the h, and then we're going to take that and divide it by 3. So the pi times 5 squared times 12 was 942.48. And then we're going to take that and divide it by 3. And we get 314.15. But please pay attention that it does instruct you to round to the nearest tenth. So because the 5 is after the 1, our actual answer would be 314.2, and then inches cubed for our unit. So make sure that you round properly before you put your answers into the Google form.